Have you ever found yourself at a party, sipping nervously on your drink, desperately wishing you could teleport anywhere else rather than make small talk? If the thought alone sends shivers down your spine, you're not alone. Small talk is the bane of many introverts' existence. And here's a controversial truth for you. It's not because introverts hate people or conversation. It's because small talk feels pointless, superficial, and sometimes downright exhausting. Here's where it gets intriguing. The reason introverts struggle isn't what most people think. It's not about lacking social skills or being antisocial. It's about craving meaningful, deep interactions rather than surface-level chatter. Sounds counterintuitive, right? Well, hold on to that thought. Because the good news is, small talk doesn't have to be torture. In fact, once you learn a few introvert tips and small talk hacks, you'll find yourself confidently navigating conversations, making genuine connections, and actually, wait for it, enjoying social events. Imagine stepping into a room and knowing exactly how to start a conversation without fearing awkward silence. Stick around, because we're about to transform the way you see small talk forever. Why small talk feels draining for introverts. For introverts, small talk often feels like being stuck in a loop of meaningless words. It's not that they can't talk, it's that they crave substance. Picture this. You're at a networking event and someone asks, "So, what do you do?" You smile, respond politely, but deep down, you're yearning for a real conversation, something that actually matters. That's the introvert problem. Surface-level exchanges feel like mental gymnastics with no reward. It's not about being shy or lacking confidence, it's about energy. Small talk drains introverts because it forces them into rapid-fire socializing, often in noisy, overstimulating settings. Imagine trying to do deep work in a crowded mall. Same vibe. They're wired to process deeply, not skim the surface. So, instead of thinking how to be more social, it's about reframing the environment to support their style. That's where mindset for shy people begins to shift. Want a quick practical tip? Next time you feel the awkward silence creeping in, flip the script. Instead of talking about the weather, ask, "What's something exciting you're working on?" It instantly turns small talk into real talk. This approach boosts confidence for introverts and creates more fulfilling interactions. And guess what? The more you do this, the more you sharpen your introvert social skills, and we're just scratching the surface. The inner critic. What's really holding you back? You know that little voice in your head that says, "Don't say that, you'll sound weird"? That's not you. It's your inner critic, and it's been freeloading in your brain for far too long. For many introverts, that internal monologue runs the show, making them second-guess every word before it leaves their mouth. It's not a lack of knowledge or ability. It's the fear of judgment that paralyzes progress. And let's be honest, talking to people while fighting your own brain is exhausting. This critic thrives on comparison. It whispers, "Everyone else is better at this than you." And before you know it, you're stuck in your own head, scanning for the nearest exit instead of focusing on the person in front of you. But here's the kicker. Most people are too busy worrying about themselves to notice your awkward moment. Real talk? Confidence for introverts starts with silencing that mental noise. Not with louder words, but with louder beliefs. Start building those beliefs through small wins. Compliment a stranger's outfit. Ask a coworker how their weekend went and actually listen. These are introvert tips that sound simple but create powerful internal shifts. You're not just practicing how to talk as an introvert, you're rewriting the script in your head. And once you start catching those small victories, something interesting begins to happen. Turning small talk into meaningful connection. Let's face it, "How are you?" is one of the most overused and under-answered questions out there. But here's a secret most people don't realize. Small talk isn't the enemy, it's just the doorway. And introverts? They're masters at depth, which is exactly what makes them amazing conversationalists when they play to their strengths. The trick lies in steering that surface-level chat into something real, without it feeling forced. Instead of freezing up when someone asks, "What's up?" you can use curiosity as your superpower. Shift the spotlight subtly. "I've been thinking about how people find their passion. What got you into what you do?" That's not just a clever question, it's a conversation upgrade. These kinds of openers are gold for socializing as an introvert because they feel natural and intentional. You're not forcing connection, you're inviting it. This is where the concept of conversation pivoting comes in. Start small, then gently steer towards something more substantial. It's a bit like jazz. You don't follow a script, you improvise based on the vibe. With practice, introverts can transform awkward silence into an opportunity to connect. And when that happens, not only do you improve communication skills, you start to genuinely enjoy talking to people. And there's more power in that than most people realize. Recharging without retreating, managing energy in social settings. Here's something they rarely teach in personal development for introverts. You don't have to choose between being social and protecting your energy. Too often, introverts feel like they need to disappear after any event. But what if the real issue isn't the interaction? It's the way we approach it. When you learn to pace your energy instead of pushing through, socializing stops being draining and starts feeling doable. Think of it like managing your phone battery. If you run every app at once, it dies quickly. But if you close a few and dim the screen, you last all day. The same goes for your mental bandwidth. If you're heading to a party, try arriving early when it's quieter. Or take a break mid-event to breathe and recharge. These aren't escape tactics, they're energy-saving strategies. They allow you to engage without burnout, improving your introvert social skills on your own terms. Want an actionable tip? Before any social gathering, schedule a buffer zone before and after. Time just for you. Maybe that's reading a chapter of a favorite book, meditating, or walking in nature. It creates a rhythm your nervous system can count on. And the more you honor that rhythm, the more confident you'll feel in conversations, even in bigger crowds. Because being social isn't about being on all the time. It's about knowing when and how to switch gears effectively. Building conversation confidence, one interaction at a time. Confidence doesn't show up overnight. It's built through repetition, like flexing a muscle you didn't know you had. For introverts, the idea of becoming social can feel overwhelming, but it's not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming a better version of yourself. Conversation tips aren't meant to turn you into a social butterfly overnight. They're tools, and the more you use them, the more naturally they flow. Start small. Next time you're at a cafe, ask the barista how their day's going. If you're in a meeting, follow up with a coworker on something they mentioned last week. These tiny acts build muscle memory. The key is consistency, not perfection. And when you stack these moments, you stop overthinking and start connecting. That's how to be confident in conversations, by being present, curious, and just a little bit brave. And here's the beautiful part. Every time you stretch your comfort zone, you expand it. Before you know it, you're not just learning how to connect with others, you're leading conversations, lifting awkward silence, and transforming the way you relate to the world. You're not just managing as an introvert anymore, you're thriving. And with all this in motion, the final piece of the puzzle becomes even more important. So now you've got the tools, real, practical steps to turn small talk from a stumbling block into a bridge. But here's the big question. What are you going to do with all of it? Will you keep avoiding conversations that could change your life? Or will you take one small step toward real connection today? Because this isn't just about learning how to start a conversation. It's about shifting your identity, building confidence for introverts, and unlocking your full social potential. Think about it. What could happen if awkward silences didn't scare you anymore? If you walked into a room with quiet certainty instead of anxiety? You don't need to become the loudest person in the room, you just need to be the one with the clearest intention. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more people who know how to truly connect. And that can absolutely be you. If this helped shift your perspective, even just a little, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because this channel is here to help you keep growing, learning, and mastering personal development for introverts. Now go out there, start one meaningful conversation, and prove to yourself you're more capable than you've ever been told.